Hey, welcome to Introduction to Financial Accounting, and I'm producing this video to help new college students who are taking accounting for the very first time. And at your school, this might be called Accounting 1 or Accounting 100 or Accounting 101, but I assure you that it's the same thing whether you're taking it at Harvard or University of Missouri or Central New Mexico Community College. So the purpose of this is to get you a good start, and in my history of teaching new accounting students, I find that some people work very hard, they get it and they get an A, and a lot of people don't buy into it, they have a hard time with the class and they flunk it or drop it. So I want to get you in the right frame of mind to do a good job and ace this course wherever you're at. So getting you on the right frame of mind. The first thing I want you to do is consider that you're learning a new language and you have a lot of words that you think mean something. I want you to throw them away. I'm going to be giving you, and your teacher's going to be giving you in this course, new meanings for words like asset. Well, you think you know what an asset is, but in accounting it means something very, very specific. So what I'm asking you is to wipe your brain clean, buy into what you're learning here. You're learning a new language. Don't think that you know what the words mean. They have a very specific meaning in accounting, and be aware of that. Second thing, I want you to have the proper supplies for the course. 3-ring binder, pencil and eraser, get a financial calculator. I use HP 17B2, which I think is a great financial calculator. But something I don't want you doing is doing your calculations on your telephone. That's not appropriate for an accounting college student. And I do want you to use a calculator. Something I want you to get in the habit of is if you're going to add 2 plus 2, I want you to punch it into a calculator and get the answer. Don't start doing these things in your head. That's how people make mistakes. We want to teach you a process. Part of that is doing things the way we've been doing accounting for a long time. I hate using pencils personally, but you're an accounting student, use a pencil because you're going to be doing some erasing. Last thing is I want you to get some 14-column green bar calendar paper. I've got some pictures on the screen here. Primarily, this is so you line your numbers up. Beginning accounting students have a very hard time with the precision that's required. You want your ones, tens, hundreds, thousands all lined up perfectly. This lets you do it. Plus it makes you look like an accountant and your binder is going to look really good. People think that you're going to be doing something. Mom and Dad will be proud. Other thing is plan on 5 to 10 hours a week outside of class, especially in the beginning. This could taper off at the end, but if you do not get a good understanding in the first couple of chapters, the first couple of months of class, forget it. You might as well start over. You're going to have to learn these things, the entry-level concepts. If you don't, it is impossible as you go on. This information in accounting all builds upon each other. Good thing is if you get a real good basis, you'll find, as I did, that accounting becomes very simple. And I think it's a great career. If you're thinking about going into accounting, you can see the world. So next thing I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to give you some things that you have to memorize. You cannot logic your way through these things. You're going to have to commit them to memory, which means creating note cards and memorizing them. I don't care if you think you're a little brain here like Homer or a big brain. It doesn't matter. We can all memorize things. If you could memorize the Pledge of Allegiance or the Boy Scout Oath, you can memorize the things I'm going to ask you to. It's not that much. If you don't memorize them, you're going to have a very hard time in the class. So make life easy on yourself. Okay, first thing that we're going to memorize is the accounting equation. And the accounting equation, I want you to put this on a note card, and the PowerPoint is also stored on Google Docs. Assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. You will actually use this again and again when you take microeconomics. You'll use it in finance classes, and you have to have this down in order to go further in accounting. So assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. It's the same thing. I've just moved the equation around a little bit. Things that I own minus things that I owe equals equity. Think of this in terms of a house. If you own a house, you own a house that you paid $100,000 for. You own that house. It's an asset of $100,000. Well, you might have a $95,000 mortgage. So if you subtract that $95,000 from the $100,000 asset that you own, that means that you have $5,000 in equity. It works the same way in accounting. This is going to be whether you're a huge company like Google or a little company around on the street corner. We're going to use this accounting equation in the balance sheet. This represents the balance sheet. And you'll use this when you analyze transactions all throughout, as long as you're going to be an accountant. So memorize the accounting equation. Next, 4 financial statements that you have to memorize. Good thing is, no matter how much accounting you take, you're only going to have to memorize 4. I have a mnemonic here, IRBC. I not only have the name of the financial statement, but I also have some other facts that you're going to need to memorize. So what I suggest that you create a note card for each one of these. You keep those note cards with you and practice them all throughout the next couple of months. It'll still give you a very good start. You have to memorize these 4 financial statements, though. You'll notice also for the financial statements, I've put underneath them some other information, like for income statement, revenues, and expenses. We're going to get to that next, but that is the accounts that are going to go on the income statement. And there's only 6 different account types that we're going to work with. The other thing I want you to look at here is on the income statement, statement of retained earnings, and the statement of cash flows. Those are all for the period ended. It could be the period ended June 2010, or it could be December 31st, 2010, for the year ended. So it's either for the month ended, for the year ended, for the quarter ended, but it's for a period of time. And that's the same for income statement, statement of retained earnings, and statement of cash flows. The balance sheet is a snapshot in time. So if I'm going to have an income statement that would be for the year ended December 31st, 2010, the balance sheet would be as of December 31st, 2010, and it would be a 1-second snapshot in time. All right, these are the 6 account types that you've got to memorize. No matter how much accounting you have to take, you're only going to have to memorize 6 account types, and I've given you some information about these 6 account types. But I've got another mnemonic here for you to memorize, DEALOR, DEALOR. Okay, our 6 account types: dividends, expenses, assets, liabilities, owner's equity, and revenue. You notice I have my brackets here. The first 3 are debits. It's going to be very important in accounting that you memorize that. The next 3, liabilities, owner's equity, and revenue, are all credits. You have to commit this to memorize. You have to commit this to memory. If you were trying to logic your way through, oh, this is an asset, is that a debit or a credit, it's going to be extremely difficult for you. Work hard at the very beginning, crush this, push this into your brain, and you'll find that Accounting 1 is going to be very simple for you. Another thing to look at, let's go back to our 4 financial statements. I told you that I was going to do the 6 account types. All of the account types are underneath a financial statement. You only use, when you prepare a trial balance, an account one time. If it is a dividend account, you're only going to use it on the retained earnings statement, nowhere else. Expenses are only used on the income statement, assets only on the balance sheet, liabilities on the balance sheet. Owner's equity, a little bit different. Revenue is only on the income statement. I said owner's equity a little bit different because we're going to have 2 accounts that you're going to deal with in Accounting 1, common stock and retained earnings. Common stock goes on the balance sheet. Retained earnings goes on the statement of retained earnings. Those are the only places that you're going to use that. One more thing I did want to mention on the 4 financial statements. We put these in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, because you have to prepare these financial statements in order. That's the reason I want you to memorize it, IRBC. You have to do the income statement first because you need net income, which goes on the statement of retained earnings. You calculate ending retained earnings, and you need that for the balance sheet. You're going to need information from all of the other 3 financial statements in order to complete the cash flow statement. So do these in order. I'm having you memorize these in an order for a reason. Okay, and debits and credits, which you will get very familiar with, but the first 3 are debits, the last 3 are credits. Last thing you're going to memorize is 3 transaction types, and these are used to reclassify all of our transactions for the statement of cash flows. Generally, this is something that you're going to do near the end of Accounting 1. We have 3 transaction types: operating, investing, and financing. So memorize OIF. I would like for you to get a note card out of this as well. Note that these go on the statement of cash flows. Just for a little mini quiz, statement of cash flows